Welcome back to the Wolf's Den. Today we're going to look at one of my favourite things is checklists. Checklists are awesome. Before crew resource management became or aeromedical resource management, all these kind of terminology came out, we just had checklists. But they've developed to make the work environment safer. Checklists were actually introduced because of fatal accidents in the civilian aviation industry. Just Google history checklists and it tells you why. It's because people were missing switches. You've got this, I'm going to say rank, I hope everyone understands that. I know you're all not ex-military. You've got a senior person, maybe a senior pilot, a really junior. They've started, it's their first day. They notice something wrong and they don't speak up. This is where crew resource management came from. So checklists were involved. You can have tons of them, or you can have simple ones. The big problem is we have checklists for checklists' sake. So for example, this is helicopters to Guatemala. This is a copy. We have, this is the, if you want to know what a checklist is, how do I do all around? Speak to your pilot, it's in the flight manual. Everything in aviation's written down. You want to know how to turn a screw on your flight helmet? There's a manual on it. Everything is in a manual. So these are the checklists that the pilots follow. And then we have our emergencies. So rather than, oh, we've got, for example, this is an engine failure during hovering. Rather than the pilots, it's kind of hard when there's single pilot because nobody can do this for them. There is a checklist that they memorize. These are called boldface. Boldface checklists are things like, think of basic life support, BLS, doctor CABC, danger response, catastrophic hemorrhage, airway, breathing, circulation. Do you need a checklist for that? No, you don't, because it's your job. So the emergencies, this is why pilots spend so long training. They tend to know them. If there's a co-pilot, they all read it through. Like for pre-starts, all this, the idea is they can do it as fast as they want, but then somebody reads through the checklist and they confirm that it's happened. But checklists can be really big. This is the United States Helicopter Safety Team. My personal minimums today for pilots. So local VFR, XC, IFR, I want the mission, visibility ceiling, blah, 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 blah. And they fill this in as kind of a personal checklist. Think back to I'm safe, illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, eat, drink, all that kind of stuff. So it's a checklist for them to make sure they're safe before they get in the aircraft. But the kind of checklist that we need to do is this kind. These are more emergencies. Cardiac arrest. Let's have a checklist for it. This is obviously ditching. And this is a nominated crew member, but you need to practice this. Where's your checklist? Is it in the boot, in your bag? Or is it in your cargo pocket of your flight suit, wherever? And it's simple. We know we're going to have a ditching. We've got two types of ditching. We've got pre-alerted, unalerted. So pre-alerted, we know we've got a problem, we're over water. So have we issued the mayday? We've set the transponder. We've told the world we're happening. Okay, unplug your helmet. Who are you going to speak to? They know you're ditching. They know where you are. Let's get rid of that hazard of the ICS cord preventing us from egressing. So unplug. Locate our nearest exit and just confirm if you've got a short-term air supply or HEEDS, helicopter emergency egress device. Just make sure it's there and it's ready. Open or jettison door, hold on to exit and put your staff in the mouth. Orientate. Once helicopter stop moving, is likely to be upside down. Open door, if you haven't done so already. Release your seatbelt, egress. So this is a boldface. If you've done underwater egress training, you will know this. Because if you don't do this, even with a SWEC chair, you will not get out. But it's just to get people's mind back into focus during a high stress situation. So the pilots, aviate, navigate, communicate. He's trying to fly the aircraft. He's trying to communicate to air traffic control. Yeah, we can say this is just one I did. Cabin security, escape routes, prompts, emergency. Have we done 121.5? Have we set the transponders to 7700? Challenge and response, closed loop communications. This is just one that I did for a company. But then once you've got your checklist, you need to train on it. And what we can do in aircraft is called a 1 minute drill. There's various variations of a 1 minute drill, but at the most inopportune moment, you say, this is the emergency, and basically you've got 1 minute to answer what you'll do. For example, pilots, how often do pilots practice auto-rotation on takeoff? They've just cleared you've taken off, you've just cleared the airfield, you're just getting altitude, and then normally, so it's just to keep you on your A game. We sit in the aircraft and we can just talk for a minute. If this happened now, what would we do? I would get the checklist. Where is the checklist? It's Velcro to the wall, and we develop that muscle memory. Everybody professional uses checklists. This is Her Majesty's Coast Guard Field Operations Guide. It's all in there. Oh look, pictures. How to set everything up. Yeah, there's a lot of gear going on. This is for cliff rescue. There's a lot of gear going on. There's risk assessments. They're all laminated so they don't get wet, so that we don't rely on luck. We rely on how it should be. So if it doesn't look like that picture, it's wrong. And we prevent and risk mitigate before we start the operation. The checklists, lots of different types out there, designed for high stress situations. Use them, please. Stay safe.